Hi guys, it's Stephanie. It's Wednesday, June 8th. So, while at work today, I noticed that I work with employees who are territorial. Okay? By that I mean they think because they park their cars in a certain parking space that space belongs to them. Okay? I work with 200 employees and I am my store opener. Okay? I always thought that the term first come, first serve meant that if you get there before everybody, it's open parking. Okay? I don't own a parking space. When I get there, I'm gonna park wherever I want to. Let's talk about why humans are territorial. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers and to those subscribers who are just visiting for the first time. If you find a video that resonates with you, then please consider to subscribe to my little channel. We'll be right back. So anyways, as you know, I live in Florida, okay? In Florida, we have about just a month and a half or barely 2 months of cool weather, okay? That's our winter, a month and a half, maybe less. Summer is right around the corner. Okay, you have to wear a hat or a sunscreen to live in Florida unless you love the incredible high humidity and boiling heat. I've been living in Florida now 20 years, and I love the fact that whatever I loved to do when I lived up northeast, I can do here year round. Okay? Florida is a different beast altogether. For example, when I go to work, I gotta make sure that I'm parking my car in the shade. It doesn't matter what shade. It doesn't matter what space, but because I'm the store opener, I have the pick of the crop, and I can park wherever I like. Whatever space has the best shade, because we have parking spaces with trees on some of these spaces, the best space with a shade is the one I will take. Whoever parks there sometime doesn't matter, because that's what it means, sometimes. If I go into work and somebody takes the space that I'm accustomed to using, I don't care. it's not my space. My name's not on the parking space. All right? So, why am I talking about parking spaces? Because I noticed that recently I decided to park just one car over to the left. What do I get for parking one car over to the left? I probably get about 3 square feet of shade. Okay? During my lunch break, I like to go sit in my car because I like privacy when I'm eating my lunch. And also, after I eat my lunch, I take a little nap. Why? Because I take an hour lunch. And if I'm a little tired, because I do work 2 jobs, and I'm going to my 2nd job right now, I like to take a little bit half-hour nap when I'm at work during my lunch break. So, let's go back to why I'm talking about this. I'm talking about this because there was a certain lady that was always parking in that space. But she just started parking in that space a few months ago. If she can go to work earlier before me, then she can take it. But if she's not there before me, I'm going to take that space. I've noticed the last couple of days that I've been parking there that she's been copying an attitude because, according to her, it's her space. There's no name on it. It's not like when you go to a store and the managers have their own parking space that says manager, assistant manager, supervisor. Not all stores have that. But if you go to a doctor's office, for example, it'll say their names on the space. Dr. Gray. Okay? Or Dr. Simmons. You can't park in their space because it's their designated parking. The doctor has to have a parking space. Okay? They're not regular people. Their jobs, okay, if they're doing surgery or something that's not routine, they have to have parking space. They can't park in a different parking area. So today, I went to lunch, and as I'm getting in my car, I look in the rearview mirror, and she's having lunch, and she's parked right behind me. And I looked at her for a few seconds. I can see her talking under her breath, and she was cussing. She hates it that I absolutely took her parking space. Oh my God. God forgive me. Okay? And I'm not even a believer. In Massachusetts, a lot of homes in the cities don't have parking spaces. In Massachusetts, what we call triple deckers or tenements. They're just apartments that are usually 2, 3, or 4, 5 floors, and these people don't have designated parking lots for the rental apartments. Okay, it's very common, and that is just horrible. That's just horrible, because that means that you're fighting for a parking space where you live. When I used to live in Massachusetts during the wintertime, it was especially hard, because if you spent time shoveling out your parking space, okay, there's a pretty good chance that when you get home, someone has parked their car in the space that you shoveled and the space that you routinely park your car. I remember one time I went to my favorite Italian restaurant. This Italian restaurant, the people who go there to eat have to park in the street or by the curb. They don't have a designated parking lot, okay? So one day, I went there to have some spaghetti, and I parked in front of a house, a single family home, that was near this restaurant. So I'm parking my car there, and the owner comes out and says, "You can't park over there." I said, "Why not?" He says, "Because I live right here." I said, "But this is on the street, okay? It doesn't have your address written on the curb." I said to him, "Plus, you have a driveway." He says, "But I live right here." I said, "You live right there, but there's a restaurant right beside your house. I have to go in and get some food. They don't have designated parking lot." So he wanted to start an argument. I ignored him. I went to the restaurant that's right beside this gentleman's house, and I had my dinner and I came out. And that was that. But people get territorial. People get territorial over the littlest things that they've grown accustomed to doing, and they forget that it's first come, first serve. Now, a lot of people park in the same place, okay? And I get that. Maybe they don't want to walk too far to go to work, or maybe it's just more convenient, or maybe they may have the same reason that I have, because Florida is extremely hot, and when I park my vehicle for long periods of time, I put a windshield shade on my dashboard to deflect the heat, and it's very effective. And I park in those certain areas because they're also under a tree, and they shade my rear window. Even though my entire car is tinted, it's not the high grade tint that blocks out 100% of UV rays and sun. It's the lowest grade, which only blocks out 25%. So my car does get hot. Plus, the windshield's not tinted. It's illegal to tint your windshield in most states, unless you live in Africa. So anyways, I noticed that about one of the women that works with me. Boy, she hates my guts because to her, it's her space. So, I've been living here in Florida now for 20 years. I've been living in Sarasota for about 10 of those years, and the other 10 I lived in Bradenton. When I first moved out here to Florida, it was so nice because you never park in the street. There's no street parking in Florida. Every home, every apartment association have parking areas that are designated. If you live in a condominium or a townhouse or a skyrises, those people park underneath the building in the garage, and their spaces are designated for them. You cannot take their space. Your vehicle could get towed. And when you go downtown, most places downtown are free parking. You can park at the library parking lot. If you're going to the parks, most parks here have free parking. If you're going to the beach, free parking. So that's how it is. Florida and most popular big states and cities there's no parking on the street if you have an apartment. And of course, if you own a home, you're going to have a driveway or a garage or whatever. So I noticed this right away when I went to go visit my family back in November, that, oh my God, I don't miss this. Going to the city or going to someone's house, I had to park my car in the street. And all these cars parked in the street, bumper to bumper, with your mirror hanging out in the center of the street where it could get clipped. I seen that on some cars, because they're parked in the street and cars are going by and hitting those mirrors. My ex-girlfriend's car one day, she used to have off-street parking, but when I spent the night over her house one day, I noticed that because she parked in the street, some drunk came by the previous night and just hit her car. So that's one of the luxuries we have here in Florida. If you live in Florida, you don't have to worry about leaving your car in the street. So that's the conversation for today, because I noticed that my employee, one of my co-workers, is not happy with me. But since I'm not territorial, I'll park someplace different when I go back to work to show her that I'm not territorial, to show her that to me it's not a big deal. I'll let her have that parking space. But sometimes I will park there. So, what's your pet peeve? My pet peeve are people who are territorial and make a big stink that you took their parking space, even though it's really not their parking space. It's public parking. I hope you guys have a nice day and you found some sense of humor in this. And don't get territorial with your coworkers. It's not worth it. If you get to work and you can park where you want, go for it, because I am. I hope you guys have a nice day.
Those are